Hello, boys and girls. It's not Kevin. Nah, he's out. It's me. This is Nathan. How are you? Okay, you replied. Good. Cool. So, this is going to be a fun episode. It's a late night episode. It's just me on the PSVG side, but I'm joined by a very cool and special guest this week. And I just want to introduce the one and only David from X1 Bros. What's going on,
Hello.
man?
Hey, it's good to be here.
Hey, it's great to have you. So, for those that may not be familiar, Dave, do you
Sure.
prefer Dave or David?
David.
Let's get that out right up that. Okay, cool. So, David, for those who may not be familiar, what is the X1 Bros?
So the Xonebros, we are a positive gaming and Xbox One community. We focus on the Xbox One, now the Xbox One X, and we're really focused on just keeping things positive. We think there's a lot of criticism of games. There's a lot of infighting between gamers, and we want to avoid that and just enjoy the medium that is gaming, which, in my opinion, is the ultimate form of entertainment.
I would have to agree with that because it's interactive. It's amazing as far as the stories that are being told now. But so you obviously started with Xbox, but you aren't excluding PlayStation or Nintendo fans. How does that feel as far as the community grows? I mean, are they pretty open with talking to each other? Because a lot of times there's a little bit of headbutting between some of the sides.
Yeah, no, I think it's been interesting. We've pretty much attracted people who like to play games on all systems. I would say most people in our community own multiple consoles. A very large percentage also do PC gaming. I mean, so we from the Switch to the PlayStation to the Xbox, we have all gamers. Our podcast, so that's the community. Our podcast itself is what's primarily focused on the Xbox. That's weekly, but everything else, if you like to play games, then we want to have you.
Hmm. So what was it that started the desire for the X1 Bros?
So well, I did a podcast for my I was in school and I just did a podcast for fun. I had to do a project, and then I thought, this isn't a bad idea. And then we were getting the Xbox One before launch. This is probably like February, and we were just talking, and we play on Steam, we play on the 360 at the time, and we said, hey, it's myself, Mr. McSpicy, and Jordan the Man, all we're the guys all on the podcast, and we were hanging out and we just having our normal discussions talking about games, and we said, hey, why don't we just do this discussion on a podcast? And the X1 Bros was born. We pre-ordered it, went and picked it up day one, and we launched 3 weeks later
Okay.
with the release of Titanfall, because there really wasn't. Titanfall was the first big game out with the
Oh,
Xbox
come on,
One.
Rise. You could
Right,
play
no, right,
Rise.
yeah, Rise was good, but we waited for Titanfall. Rise is actually one of my favorites. I feel like that flies under the radar a lot, but that's one
Mm.
of my favorite games. It's such a good game.
Yeah, Rise is one of those games where it was a system launch game. It kind of gets a negative connotation sometimes, but it was so actually decent. You could play it and the graphics were nice. There was the Kinect integration, which was so,
Yep.
but I remember yelling at my screen forever, be like, "Fire volley!"
Yeah, it's so fun. Plus, Gladiator is one of my favorite movies, and this, I felt like, why watch Gladiator when I can go be Gladiator?
Hmm. And just be like, "Are you entertained? Are you
Yeah,
not entertained?"
exactly.
Well, so 2013 is the genesis of the X1 Bros. At
Mhm.
what point did you kind of say, we want to make sure that this is a community that we're building that is open. We don't want to close it off just to the I almost said X Bone. I don't like that term. The Xbox, family, but we want to be open for all the gamers. How did you get to that point where you're like, this is what we want to do and really go forward with it?
Sure, I would say probably about a month in. Well, maybe a little bit longer. It's probably like 6 episodes. So we do one episode a week. So that's about 6 weeks in. And we were really dabbling. I mean, this was the first console where you could stream on Twitch. You could do it right from the Xbox. And so we were dabbling in that. And we just noticed that it was so toxic on Twitch.
Mhm.
And we wanted to be different. We basically, we couldn't sit down with our family, with our friends, and watch Twitch because it was so toxic. And so we wanted to be that alternative.
Hmm. Yeah. So I was a Twitch. I dipped my toes in Twitch. Let's just say that. But yeah, I've never really had a super positive experience. I did Extra Life, my marathons on there until this year. I moved over to Mixer, but yeah, it is a toxic environment over there. I don't know why, but I don't know. Gamers sometimes, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think what happens there is there's not I mean, some streamers are really good about setting a precedent, but the precedent was set from the beginning of Twitch, where I mean, I love watching Twitch. Mr. McSpicy, he's a big Twitch watcher, viewer in our podcast there. But I think they kind of encourage trolls, like trolls are encouraged there, and that's not Twitch itself, but users,
Hmm.
streamers, some streamers specifically. But I mean, it's a great thing. We just and there are other family friendly, so to speak, streamers over there that you can definitely find. We that's where we got the idea for trying to be open and really trying to stop the fanboy wars and stuff like that.
Very cool. So that's the genesis of the community. What happens if someone comes in there and they're a troll and they're like, "Oh, Sony's the only console to play at this generation. You guys on Xbox are just blah." What happens in that case?
Uh that I'd we'll find out when that
It's
happens.
never happened.
It's honestly, I mean, so sometimes when we stream, that happens. You get like random trolls, one
Right.
off. But honestly, in the community itself, so Discord is probably the big hub of our community, as I'm sure it is for PSVG.
Mhm.
And we've never really experienced that yet. And I think it's just because the people that are attracted to our community just enjoy gaming.
Mhm. That's awesome. I mean, so obviously the people that are coming there are the people that you want there. So that's great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a great bunch of people. I've made so many friends. Gaming, here's why gaming is great. Number one, it's the ultimate immersive experience. And number two, it is also social. The stereotype of, oh, I'm in my mother's basement, I have no friends, I'm socially handicapped, really doesn't exist in 2017, going on 2018 here. It is
Mhm.
a social thing. And I have made so many great friends just from the Xbox One generation alone.
That's awesome. I can't, I've been on Xbox ever since the original Xbox, and I remember capping out my friends list at 100 one time. But now with like the Xbox One and it's a higher list and capacity in the follower situation, it's really great to have a lot of people that you can follow and like their activities and things like that. And obviously, you guys are on my list too, and I can see when you go broadcast and see when you're liking the achievements, and you got the community on the Xbox side too. Obviously, our listeners know this, but for people that may be coming to listen to you, I'm mostly an Xbox guy over here.
Sure.
They call me I don't know, the Emperor sometimes because I like to drop into my Star Wars voices, but um, it's fun because I think a lot of people take for granted, and this is just my personal opinion, that communities are really hard to build. You know what I mean? But when you have one such as the X1 Bros community, a PSVG community, other ones out there that are so fun to play with. It's like that is your world now. I mean, those are the people that you want to play with, and they're all your friends that are out there, and you care about what they are playing. They care about what you're playing. It's a really cool communal experience.
No, it really is, and it enhances, in my opinion, it enhances the game. And even if, so for instance, sometimes I just like to get on and I don't want to talk to anybody while I'm playing a game. But I'll give you an example: Minecraft Realms right now. And I'm all about Minecraft Realms. I love the update. It's adult Legos for me, and I can just get in, and it's just nice knowing that I am in the realm with a bunch of my friends. And something that's crazy is, if you think about it, I don't know any of these people really, except for through gaming.
Hmm.
I'll know, for instance, everybody knows me as X1. They don't know David necessarily, but they know X1, and it's this really cool new dynamic that I don't know if it has ever existed before in a medium.
Hmm. And that's another cool thing about video games, right? But more than any other medium, books, movies, entertainment, whatever, it's that communal experience that you really get when you play a game like Minecraft Realms, right? Because you hop into a game or you have a community game night. everybody hops into Halo for a big match or something like that, and it's more than just sitting in a dark room with somebody going to watch the movie. Yeah, that's fun. That is fun. But being able to be like, oh man, did you see that shot there? Or oh dude, fantastic job on getting my back on that, warthog or whatever. It's so fun to be able to have that experience.
Yeah,
So
no, absolutely.
so as we are now introduced properly, welcome to the show.
You?
Um, one thing that we always ask our first time guests is, what is your earliest gaming memory?
I sitting at home playing with my dad, the original Mario Brothers on Nintendo. That's my earliest, very earliest. I remember with this little TV. I mean, little. It's still pretty big by today's standards. I mean, just size wise, those old TVs. But just sitting playing with it, beating levels together. That's my earliest gaming memory. Mario, the original Super Mario Brothers.
That's awesome. How old were you at that time?
Maybe 8.
Okay.
maybe a little bit younger than that.
Yeah. So old enough to kind of be in the right time frame for that.
Sure, exactly. Yeah, old enough to know that I really liked it.
Nice. So that's cool. So Super Nintendo, that was your gateway.
No, sorry, the original Nintendo.
Oh, so Mario Brothers on
Yeah, Mario.
8-bit. Okay,
Yeah,
cool. So did you get the NES Classic to try to relive those memories?
I have. So I wanted to, but like all things Nintendo, I couldn't.
Yeah, Microsoft, come on, what are you doing? I mean, they did say that they're going to be reproducing more.
Yeah,
So maybe the ability will come out there
yeah, and you can
slightly later.
actually, in fact, a bunch of stores announced their pre-order for the SNES classics right now that they're getting a bunch more. So that's exciting.
Yeah. SNES Classic, obviously more my jam, more than NES Classic, because the first gaming memory I have, oddly enough, is on the NES. It was Darkwing Duck.
Oh,
Um,
of course.
one of the originals. We rented an NES from a local video store, which is no longer in existence, and we rented Darkwing Duck because that was my favorite cartoon at the time. And I was like, I want to play Darkwing Duck, and that was the first thing that I remember is like jumping over barrels in Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, that's a good
So
one. Did
yeah.
you ever play DuckTales? Speaking of Darkwing Duck, it's kind of this.
I have not yet. However, wait a second. DuckTales is Scrooge McDuck, right?
DuckTales, Scrooge
Okay. So I did play the one that was Xbox Arcade that came to Xbox One X compatibility.
Uh-huh.
I played through that one, and I also bought the Disney Afternoon Collection, which it's in on this last Black Friday sale. So I have played it on the Xbox.
Oh, there you go. There you
I
go. Yeah.
mean,
In fact, what was it? $8 on the sale? Did you say? Yeah, that I didn't pick that up, but I want to because all those games I remember.
yeah, I mean, the reason why I picked it up is my nostalgia factor because of Darkwing Duck. It had Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, Tailspin,
Tailspin,
and
Tails, I think is the other one.
yeah. I don't know. That's a good collection of games right there. It's a nostalgia trip for sure.
That
I
is.
wish they would do that for like the Batman animated series game that was out there on the Sega Genesis and like those X-Men games that were out there. Give me a nice little collection that I
Yeah,
can just play.
yeah, agreed.
So, what have you been playing recently that you would like to talk about?
Recently, I mean, Minecraft Realms, I'm super into,
Hmm.
which some people say I should be ashamed.
Now, I'm gonna be honest. I've
Uh,
never played Minecraft in any form ever.
so it's fun. Minecraft, just standard vanilla Minecraft, super fun for about 15, 20 hours. You build something and then you're done. Minecraft Realms, where you have people all in with you and they're all building stuff. And every time you log on, something has changed in the world because they've done something to it. It's limitless, really. Like what you can do is limitless. So Christmas is here.
Hmm.
So I have been spending my time putting Christmas decorations up all around town. We've got a huge town. It's a good time. We're building right now a city center. I'm a generous benefactor, and I donated my plot of land, which was the very center, what became the very center of town, uh, to make a city hall for some administrative buildings. And I've moved my place out, and I built a big mansion. And it's just so much fun. It sounds so stupid. And when I stream that game, so I stream 5 days a week. When I stream that game, I'm getting advice from 12 to 15-year-old kids
Hmm.
who know 100 times more than I will ever know about that game. And I don't care. I don't care. It's so much fun.
That's cool. So with Minecraft Realms, how is that different than like the traditional Minecraft?
Sorry, no, that's good. So standard Minecraft, no multiplayer. Well, there's localized multiplayer. So
Okay.
as long as you're on, your friends can be on with you. Once you log off, boom, that's it. It's done. Minecraft Realms introduced servers. So you end cross-platform with the Better Together update. So you can be on the PC, you can be on the Xbox. Eventually, early next year, you'll be able to be on the Nintendo as well, and all be in the realm. So we have the Xonebros realm. You'll all be able to be on it at any time of day, whether I'm on or not. It doesn't matter. So that's different with realms. It brought dedicated servers.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool
Yeah.
because before it was like personal servers, right?
Yeah, personal servers. In fact, the guy Matt who found we talked about Mixer. Their Mixer's big with Microsoft right now. Well, Microsoft bought it, but the Matt who he that's how he got his start as like a 15-year-old kid. He set up servers. Excuse me, for Minecraft, and I mean, from his biography, made millions of dollars at age 15.
That's crazy. That's awesome. So with Minecraft servers and everything out there with Realms, what was the what was the spark that made you jump in and at least try Realms? Because it's relatively new, correct?
Yeah, Realms is. I mean, Realms is the Better Together update, which has been around for like 2 months now.
So it is Minecraft like base, and this is like an addition.
So it's called the Better Together update because it introduced cross-platform play. So
Okay.
it's the same Minecraft essentially gameplay wise. Just now you have all these added features and there's cross-platform and stuff.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
but honestly, we did Minecraft probably like 2 years ago. We built up our world, I mean, which was basically 3 houses, and spent like 20 hours doing that, and then just never jumped back in because that's just how it is. And we said, "Oh, realms are here, yes!" And then we just set it up, and boom, there it goes. And it's a really, I describe it as therapeutic. You just go in, you relax, what
Chill.
am I? You can fish. I go fishing in that game sometimes. I mean, it's that type of game.
Well, that's cool. So that's you get your social fix, obviously. Have you been playing anything else?
Yeah, so I have been playing Battlefront 2.
Oh, we can talk about Battlefront 2, I guess.
I am thoroughly enjoying that game. Now, you might disagree with me. I know there's some guys over at the Psvg network who are very passionate about their Battlefront 2. I will say this. With all of their with their PR mistake, with the way they handled loot crates, that game is still freaking awesome. Like I am having a ton of fun in that game. In fact, we have a big community play coming up this weekend, and it is going to be Battlefront 2 that we do it. It's just a blast. The and it's beautiful. That Frostbite engine blows my mind. I mean, it's stunning.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. Like the original Battlefront, not the original, the 2015 Battlefront looked really
Sure.
good as well.
It did.
But yeah, this one it looks a little bit sharper and crisper a lot. But
So
man,
have you
I don't
jumped in?
know.
Have you played it? Have you played it much?
I have played probably 20 or so hours of it.
Oh wow, okay, so a decent amount.
Yeah.
So you don't like
Um,
you don't like the multiplayer or anything, loot boxes aside, or how you level up, because that I mean
right.
they're changing all that now regardless, but just strictly gameplay, it didn't do it for you.
Strictly gameplay, the on foot stuff is so so. The
Okay.
Starfighter stuff is fantastic. I
Oh, Starfighter
love
is so fun.
Yeah, Starfighter is the reason to own that game for me. But I love Starfighter in the last game too. I
Yeah.
love flying games. I need my
Sure.
Crimson Skies fixed still. So, but I love the Starfighter content. The on ground stuff is okay. It's just sometimes it's a little bit disorienting, especially when you're playing against like the separatists and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those things where I need to play more of the on ground stuff to
Sure.
really get it. But what I find is when I do, those star cards, man. Like someone comes up, he's got like six purple star cards. No, no, sorry, three purple star cards on his character, and there's
Uh,
just no way.
yeah. So a mode that I really enjoy on foot, it's my favorite mode. It actually beats Starfighter. Is the heroes versus villains. Have you had a chance
Ah,
to
that is
play
good.
that? Yeah, heroes versus villains, because I get to be I get to be Emperor Palpatine for crying out loud. Like it's so awesome. And then I like that it's just focused. It's 4v4 and they send you after here's your target for 30 seconds. Go get this guy. Well, that's a blast. That's a blast. It can be disorienting. I agree with you, especially in their team deathmatch mode. All their
Hmm.
maps are circular, so you're
Hmm.
always getting shot in the back. It's really frustrating.
Yeah, they're kind of trying to make that arena effect in a lot of ways, I
Yeah,
think. But uh, but yeah, I mean, playing heroes versus villains is always fun.
yeah.
Um, that obviously has its own layer of controversy because you have to unlock the Emperor. He's 10,000 credits. Vader's 15,000. Luke is 15,000. I've unlocked Vader and Luke at this point,
Okay.
but nobody else just yet because, I mean, I feel like for Star Wars, it's a Skywalker story. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I need to have Luke. I need to have Vader
Yeah.
to be able to play him. But I do like the arcade mode is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
My
Arcade
one,
mode, super fun.
yeah, my one complaint or request, feature request would be if they could add online multiplayer. So like I can do a co-op online on that arcade mode because right now it's just local co-op, which is great. But I want to also be able to play with people online that aren't necessarily like in the same state as me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No. Exactly.
So, but yeah, I mean, overall, Battlefront isn't a bad game. I'm interested to see what this whole microtransaction thing shakes out to be. Um, but yeah, it's funny when you say that you like to play as the Emperor. When you do so, when you run around shocking people, do you do the Emperor voice or anything?
I don't. I can't. I can't do the Emperor's voice now.
You need to walk up to some guy like, "You are now mine, and you will die." Um,
Exactly.
but it's so fun to just, I don't know. We need to play it sometime. That'd be fun.
Yeah. No.
Um,
It's a good time. I feel like this is gonna be an unpopular statement, maybe with some people. I feel like it was a little bit overblown. I mean, the microtransactions were ridiculous. I mean, just the amount of time that it took,
mhm,
but they've got rid of them. They fixed it. I mean, what more? A company tries to do something, we don't like it, they change it. That's how. I mean, that's called business.
mhm,
Uh, and I just feel like it's kind of the outrage culture that we unfortunately live in today that just kind of it's just been overblown because it's a fun game. Like
mhm.
when push comes to shove, it's super fun, and I think it's an improvement on the first re-release of Battlefront.
Yeah. The one thing I would like, and I think would save multiplayer a little bit more for me, honestly, would be if they gave you a mode that was star card less.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Because that way you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. You just play like you would on,
Yeah,
Xbox, original Xbox days. But
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
No, that's actually a really good suggestion. I like that.
I'm gonna write EA like after this podcast and be like, "Dear Mister Electronic Arts, I
Let
mean,
let's do this.
let's do this." Okay, cool. Anything else you've been playing?
Yes, Forza 7.
Okay, so I have to admit,
Okay.
I bought Forza 7 the Ultimate Edition to play early,
Uh-huh.
and I have played maybe 2 hours of that game so far.
Okay.
I just got busy. Do I need to dedicate time to this game to go play it some more?
Yes, it's so Forza Horizon 3 has been my favorite racing game probably of all time at this point.
Horizon's great, fantastic game. I love the Horizon series
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, and Forza Horizon 2 got stale for me a little bit. It was a little bit boring as far as the environments and stuff. It didn't do it for me. I preferred Forza Motorsport 6 to Forza Horizon 2, but Forza Horizon 3, my favorite racing game. Forza Motorsport 7 is is right up there. It's at least neck and neck with it at this point. Now I've not done everything. For instance, I'm like 90% completion rate in Horizon, and they've not yet released everything in Motorsport. Like Forzathon just came out about
Hmm.
2 weeks ago for the first time, and then leaderboards are not yet up, and I'm really waiting to jump into leaderboards. But I am just thoroughly impressed. Then, so when I got it, I had it on the Xbox One. Now I have the Xbox One X,
Hmm.
and it was already a gorgeous game. Now it's gorgeous with detail.
Oh yeah,
And
and
it's the
fantastic
showstopper.
light.
In fact, that game, so I've been trying to convince my wife to let me get a 4K TV because she's not let me do that yet.
Hey, we're in the same boat there.
Yeah. And we were at Best Buy on Black Friday, and that's their demo. on all the Samsung TVs is Forza 7. And she said, wow. She was like, wow, that is amazing. Because it is. It's a showstopper. I mean, it's their beauty game.
Oh yeah. I mean, I haven't yet seen it on my X, but I played it on my PC, which has a decent graphics card. It's got like a 970 in it,
Sure.
4 gig card. Um, but I, I haven't yet. Just ever since the X came out, the one game I've been playing is Assassin's Creed. So I just need to break away now that I've beaten that game. But Forza is one of those games where I love the series. I love the technical detail. I support it because, I'm just going to buy it and support the game. But man, Forza Horizon is fantastic. And
Yeah.
it's just, once you get a taste of that, that's all you want.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I definitely understand that Forza Horizon's so good, but no,
Hmm.
I've been enjoying Forza Motorsport, and then I also on the Black Friday sale, I jumped in and got Evil Within, the first one,
Okay.
and this is a case where I don't like horror games, and I didn't realize. I feel like Evil Within, the title is misleading. I thought it was like a horror. Uh, what is the game, like Outlast type of game?
That's what I assume it is. Kind of
Where it
like
makes
that.
you jump. It's not. It's the creator of Resident Evil, and the Evil Within 2 commercials that I'm seeing between football games all the time made
Mhm.
me actually want to check out the original Evil Within, and I'm loving it. It reminds me of Resident Evil 2, which is the first Resident Evil that I played, and it's bringing back those same feelings, and it's so much fun.
Well, that's cool. So the first Evil Within, was it an Xbox exclusive or was it on
Mm,
multiple consoles? Do you
No,
know?
it's Bethesda, so it's multiple platforms. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize it was Bethesda. They got a lot of stuff out now, man.
Yeah, Bethesda. In fact, because of this, I have come to realize that Bethesda, I think, is my favorite developer.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's a bold statement.
Wolfenstein 2, I've also been playing. Love the original Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein 2 is blowing my mind. Doom blew my mind. They just do it. Single player shooters, single player storytelling so well. And then they do it in a way that pays homage to the originals, feels the same, just newer. It's just they're just so good. I'm yeah, it's my favorite publisher slash developer at this point.
Well, I feel like Kevin is going to be very excited to hear that because he's like the Bethesda fanboy over here on this side of the house. For me, like my favorite developer right now has to be just because of and they've only played one game, or I'm sorry, I've only played one game of theirs, but everything that they've done is right by me, and that's CD Projekt Red. They're just
Oh
my
yeah.
favorite developer right now
Oh yeah, yeah.
because
Yeah.
anything they put out, I'm just gonna buy.
Yeah, no, I mean that's best. I mean it's up there for best RPG of all. I mean Witcher 3 is so it blows my mind what all is in that game.
Has the Xbox One X enhancement come out for Witcher 3 yet? That's this week. I think it's due out.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's out as of right now, but that's one I know a lot of people are excited for.
Yeah, I haven't completed the last set of DLCs on that, but I was kind of waiting for the enhancement to come out and then hop back in and try to relearn those controls after playing hours of games that are not Assassin's Creed or that are not Witcher.
Yeah, right.
So talking about the Xbox One X for a second, why did you get one?
I was really excited. I mean, first and foremost, because I do an Xbox podcast.
Exactly, right?
But beyond that, I was just really excited to have the most powerful gaming console on the planet. It honestly was the Digital Foundry videos that sold me on that, showing that it's not gimmicky, it's actually real, native 4K, increased frame rates. Even if you've only got 1080p monitor, everything is upscaled, and I can attest to that is true because that's what I'm playing on right now. Faster loading times. To get an equivalent of a PC, I'd be paying more because everything is custom built from the ground up. They really took their time and made a super quality product. And I just got excited, and the hype is real. That's
Hmm.
what I can say. What I am a fanboy, yes, but I'm not a fanatic.
Yeah, you're not blinded.
If it was disappointing, I'd say this is disappointing and I wasted my money. I don't feel that way at all. I am so happy that I purchased the One X.
Now, are you playing on a 4K display at all, or just 1080p?
Just 1080p. Yeah, just 1080p. And actually, the 4K is not as important to me as HDR is. And I know the S had HDR, but HDR, it shines. I mean, both Jordan the Man and Mr. McSpicy on the podcast with me both have 4K HDR televisions, and it's phenomenal.
Hmm. Yeah, on Black Friday, I was trying to swing the whole let's get this before the baby comes and we'll have it and then we'll be good. But that didn't work because I was trying to get a 65-inch Sony 900E.
Yeah.
I mean, because that just like has HDR and everything else. It had really good reviews and ratings over at Rtings. So I was trying to get that one, but I just couldn't get it. I have a 4K monitor, which is actually what I'm looking at right now. So you're in
Oh,
4K. Congratulations.
no.
Um, but I have it hooked up to that right now up here in my office. So it's it's stunning. Like playing Assassin's Creed is just wow. I mean, this monitor doesn't have HDR.
Okay.
So I'm still waiting to see what it looks like with HDR because the lighting that I've seen just from the displays on this guy, it's unreal. Like I here's what I think about the Xbox One X is that this leap from Xbox One, even Xbox One S to X, in my opinion, is bigger and more tangible than the leap between 360 and One.
Hmm.
What do you think about that?
I think there's definitely an argument to be made. Maybe not. I maybe wouldn't agree from the S, but from the original Xbox One to the One X, I would say if it's not a bigger leap, it's at least equivalent or close enough to me. I mean, it's the this to, in my mind, this is the first next generation console.
Hmm. I mean, 4K gaming, that on its own is just wow.
Oh yeah.
Like this guy sitting over here is a small little thing, like way smaller than my PC, just a tad bigger than my Darth Vader PS4, and it's super quiet still.
Oh,
So it's not like it doesn't sound like a jet taking off. My PS4 sounds like a jet taking off every now and then when I turn it on, like once a year, just to make sure it still works. And then my PlayStation or my Xbox, my Scorpio edition, by the way, fantastic console, is just it's quiet. The louder thing about it, sorry about that, is my external hard drive. That's the
yeah,
loudest thing about my setup.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
So
it's no, I'm there with you, man. It is an awesome piece of hardware. One thing I will say, a game that I want to see come to the Xbox or a genre that PlayStation has is MLB The Show. Or, and I know Sony owns MLB The Show, but a Major League Baseball game. I love my baseball games, and we don't have one, and it really makes me angry and sad.
well, there's RBI, right? I mean, isn't that
Yeah,
okay?
no, not the same thing at all.
Nice. Um, well, real quickly, I've mentioned it a little bit with Assassin's Creed Origins. Have you played that at all?
I've not played it personally, but I've sat and watched McSpicy and Jordan the Man play it. I own it, but
Just
it's
haven't
the
gotten
time
to it
of
yet.
year.
It's part of the backlog.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So yesterday, last night, actually, early this morning, I finished Assassin's Creed Origins, the storyline. Um, a small 56 hours into the game, you know,
Yeah,
but
no big deal. NBD.
but that game, I gotta say, like right now, it is really, really reaching for the top of my game of the year personal like list because I was a huge fan of The Witcher,
Sure.
and if you enjoyed The Witcher, you're gonna like this game
Huh.
because it has those hooks. You know what I mean? It has those Witcher kind of. The map is massive. It's not as big as the Witcher's map, but it's huge and it's sprawling. And the side quests are meaningful. They aren't just all fetch quests. They're all voice acted. They got good dialogue and good writing and things that make you laugh. And you can just go around and do whatever you want. Well, in a way, in this game, kind of like Zelda was. You can kind of climb that mountain or go there. You can do all that. Same thing with Assassin's Creed, but your weapons don't break, which is really annoying in Zelda sometimes.
So
And I
let me
understand why.
ask you this because I've not yet. I have heard similar reviews of Assassin's Creed. Uh, but you mentioned Zelda head to head against Zelda because Zelda is definitely up there for top game of all time, if not game of the year. And that is one that I did dive into heavily. It's right there with Zelda, huh?
For me, it is. Now, I haven't played nearly as much Zelda as I have Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
And I mean, so I got my Switch over here, My dock set up for my monitor here, but I take it with me everywhere. It's my travel console.
Sure.
I travel a lot for work, and I just take it with me. And sometimes I hop on and play it. Sometimes I just want to sleep. But when I'm on a plane or something like that, I can just kick it out and play a quick game of Zelda or Mario Kart or something like that. For a long time, Zelda was just the only thing on my console, and I had a lot of fun with it. Like it's a great game. It's fantastic. It's one of those games where I'm not in a rush to beat it
Mm.
because I'm enjoying my time. And I find myself like that with a lot of these types of games. Even with Assassin's Creed, I wasn't in a rush to beat it. Um, because I get lost. And I enjoy getting lost with the side quests, with the missions, with everything else that you can do with the game that's not the main story, because there's more content that's not main story than there is, which is crazy. And that's just one of the things about Zelda and this. Like your mission in Zelda is to go and defeat Ganon, and you could try to go right away and do it, but you're not going to be able to beat him most likely. But it's just so great. Like I love open world games,
Yeah.
and it's kind of a trope now. A lot of games like, oh, it's just another open world game. Give it to me. I love them. I mean,
Yeah.
I like to wander, explore, see what the developers put out there for me to find that's kind of funny and little jokes and things like that. There's a ton more of those out there. I still need to go back and beat Metal Gear 5.
Oh, me too, actually. That's a good game as well.
Yeah. And that's when I like it. I like it a lot. I just stopped playing it one day and moved on to another. That's a weird thing, right? You never, or not never, but there's times when you move on from a game to something else. You don't make a conscious decision that this is going to be the last day I ever play you game and then go on and play something else. You're always like, I'm going to go back to it.
Yeah.
But then it's been like a year, 2 years, and you haven't gone back to it yet. And it's kind of like, well, now I can't remember where I was at, the controls, the concepts, things like that. Have you ever thought about that? Like, subconsciously, are you making a decision that you're done with a game, even though consciously you still want to go back and beat it?
Um, yeah, I think it's more for me a case of a kid in a candy store and the next big thing is there and I'm gonna buy it and
Mm.
play it, and I never end up going back. But I don't think it's ever been a conscious decision unless it's been a game that I just couldn't get into. Then obviously that's a conscious decision. On the open world games, I really like, for instance, Witcher, so good. Skyrim, so good. Uh I I find myself sometimes with over they're daunting. Like, for instance, with the Xbox Enhanced Edition of Witcher 3, there's a game that I want to jump back into, and I've never fully beaten that game. I want to jump back into it and beat it and beat all the DLC.
Hmm.
But it's daunting.
It is. It can be for sure. Like, but you got to kind of be in that mood and be like, yeah, I'm ready
Yeah.
for some more of this.
Yeah, and so that's why I think like an Evil Within or a Wolfenstein, I've been enjoying those lately because it's a straight shooter. You go from A to B, boom, and it's less daunting, even though I end up probably spending the same amount of time in the
Hmm.
game as a whole. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, but Assassin's Creed definitely you need to go and check that
Yeah,
game
I'm
out if you
excited.
haven't had
I'm
a chance
excited.
to.
I love watching the Eagle Vision. This is so cool.
Hmm. Yeah, Eagle Vision's great. All right, so let's ask a community question here. So I'm gonna pull up my trusty phone here, and actually, no, it's on my PC. Oh, 1 second. Um, so have you watched the Avengers Infinity War trailer?
I just saw it this morning. Yes.
Question from Dev. He says, "Yeah, what was your favorite part of that Avengers Infinity War trailer?"
My favorite part was I was like, where is Thor? Why am I not seeing Thor? And then at the end, Thor is there. For those of you that haven't watched the trailer, go watch it and you'll know what I'm talking about. Thor comes at the end, and the way that he comes in and how they introduce him, super cool. So stoked.
Hmm. Yeah. Did you Did you see Thor Ragnarok?
I did. Yes. Really liked it. I liked it as much or better than the first one.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, me as far as Thor goes, that was my favorite portrayal. So I'm wondering if that's going to kind of eke into Avengers here. But yeah, when he was in the scene that they put him in the trailer, fantastic.
Mhm.
Definitely go watch it. For me, my favorite part of the Infinity War trailer was man, it's hard to pick out, but I I just love the whole thing. Like the music, the callbacks to the original Avengers score, uh, the the images that you see with Spider-Man and his spider sense. Finally, I don't know about you, but I was kind of disappointed about Spider-Man: Homecoming that he didn't really exhibit spider sense at all.
Sure.
Now it's there. It was in the trailer.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm so jacked. Um, Another question. Now, this is more on the entertainment side too. Star Wars Episode 8 coming 15 days from today. That's pretty crazy.
Yes.
Um, what's your plan?
Definitely gonna go see it. I'm really looking forward to this one. It looks to me the trailer where they show the battle, it seems the emotional battle, the whatever, the pull to the light and dark side between Rey and Ren, or Kylo Ren. Uh, that's what has me most intrigued. It seems really, really deep. I feel like the first Star Wars here was good base to get things restarted, rebooted. And this now we're gonna dive into the story. So super excited. I do have one criticism. I do not like the way Luke Skywalker looks. Just in like the opening scene, he looks like a dwarf. I don't. It's like just he's in his robe and he's got the beard on, and I'm like, oh, that's not Luke Skywalker. But anyways, it looks like a ton of fun.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. Do you have your tickets already bought?
Excuse me, I do not.
Oh, well, I bought mine because they recently introduced here reserved seating,
Oh
which I
yeah,
know has been a big thing at other theaters in bigger cities.
sure.
And they're having a fan event. So at 6 o'clock on Thursday, the 14th, I think it is. They got this fan event thing that I don't know what they're going to give out, but it was like $30 for the ticket, so it better be something decent. Um,
Very cool.
and I'm like, I'm gonna go see this because I am a fan, so this is for me, right?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Um, I think that's the last question we'll talk about for now because I think we're getting a little long in the tooth tonight. Um, but I did want to again thank you for joining us. And when do you guys record? What can people do to be a part of the community? Let people know how they can join the X1 Bros
Sure,
community.
absolutely, and I appreciate the opportunity to be on the show here. This has been a good time. Just sit down talking games. It's always a good time.
Uh-huh.
The X1 Bros. Check us out. We're everywhere podcasts are. Just type in X1 Bros. We stream Monday through Friday, early in the morning every day. It's works out to be 7 to 9:30 a.m. Eastern. So right when you get to work, just load us up, mixer.com/X1Bros. You can go to X1Bros.com. You can follow me on Twitter at X1Bros. If you enjoyed this conversation between me and Nathan, you will enjoy the X1 Bros because it's just like this. It's just us talking about games. You get to sit in on the conversation and feel part of it. It's a good time. We're all about positive gaming. Come check us out. It's a good time.
And I did want to mention your podcast. I love it's like a radio quality, like a very much like a Howard Stern type feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You guys do a great job on that show. Really a stellar job. And I'm assuming you guys are all in person, right?
we are, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
And you
can
can
definitely
actually
kind
watch
of
us
feel.
live as well via Mixer. Friday nights is when we record. But
Okay. I haven't had a chance to see a live recording yet, but listening to the show just feels like the energy is so like good between you guys that you got a great thing going, and I think that you guys are quality sounding, which is important to me, and it's just fun listening to you guys. There was one episode I think you did 5 episodes ago, maybe it was like almost 3 hours long.
yeah, some of them go on for, like I said, it's just us talking games. So sometimes they can get derailed as well. But no, I appreciate that compliment. We've really tried to make an effort to improve slowly over time. We've actually had for those of you, I mean, obviously most of you listening to this will be new if you go check out the X1 Bros. But if you go back to episode 58, Major Nelson was on our show. We've had Gareth Coker. I don't know. Gareth Coker is the composer of Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh, nice.
He has been on our show. Ryan McCaffrey from IGN has been on our show. So we've had a couple people on our show, and it's always a good time. Everybody's you see these guys in the gaming world and you think, oh yeah, they're probably, I don't know what they're like, but they've all been really down to earth, super fun. And that's the kind of atmosphere we want, just people who love to play games.
Nice. That's awesome. Congratulations on the show. It's a fantastic listen, and definitely it's in my subscription feed.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for putting it out. As far as me, you might, if you're watching the video, you can tell that I'm dressed up here. This is going to be probably my last episode for a while. I have an imminent arrival of my son, and that's going to take a little bit of my time away. So I wanted to dress up a little bit for everybody out there, and they can get one last look and be like, "Hey, he wasn't a swab." In case I never come back, exit interview time. This is, you go into your employer and you're like, "Why are you leaving?" I'm like, kid. But yeah, so he is eminent, as I mentioned. But you can find me on Twitter as always. I will be on social media still when I'm not changing diapers and trying to sleep for 2 seconds. I am at Voiced by Nathan on Twitter. You can follow me there. The show is at PSVG. You can find us over at the playsomevideogames.com. All the social media stuff, obviously over on YouTube. So yeah, I think that's about it. Any final words, Dave? David. Sorry.
Yeah. If you're not having fun gaming, then you're probably not doing it right. Words to live by, my friends. Words to live by.
There you go. There you have it.
Not that I'm this like old wise soul or anything, but there you go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a firm believer of playing games and not making it feel like work. So
yeah.
Very well put. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, until next time, finish the fight.